Let's be real for a second. Is there anything more comforting, more purely British, and more secretly thrilling than an episode of Antiques Roadshow? We've all done it. You're sitting there with a cup of tea, shouting at the TV, judging someone's dusty old vase, and secretly praying that the weird statue your Aunt Linda left you is actually a Ming Dynasty treasure and not just a doorstop from a 1980s garden center. But every once in a while, a segment comes along that stops us in our tracks. It's not just about the money, though, let's be honest, we love the money, it's about the reaction. And folks, we have found the holy grail of reactions. We are talking about the guest who brought in her late mother's costume jewelry, fully expecting to be told it was worth a tenner, only to have her face physically scrunch up in pure, unadulterated disbelief when the truth came out. It is the moment that reminds us why we watch this show. Let's break down this absolute roller coaster of an appraisal. The junk drawer discovery. Here is the scenario. A lovely guest arrives at the roadshow venue. She's carrying a couple of brooches. To the untrained eye, that's us. They look sparkling and pretty, but maybe a bit flashy. You know the type, the kind of thing you played dress-up with as a kid. The guest explains the backstory, and it is instantly relatable. These belong to her mother. But here is the kicker. Her mother and the guest herself were convinced they were nothing special. We always thought they were just costume jewelry, she tells the expert. Just bits of glass and paste. Fun stuff, you know. We can feel the vibe through the screen. She's relaxed. She's not expecting a life-changing sum. She's just there for a nice day out and maybe a bit of history about the design. She is literally all of us assuming our attic is full of junk. The expert steps in. Enter the expert, usually the impeccably dressed John Benjamin or someone of similar high-status jewelry knowledge. He picks up the pieces. He brings out the loupe, that little magnifying glass that signals things are about to get serious. He starts describing them, and this is where the tension starts to simmer. He's using words like Art Deco. He's talking about the milligrain setting. He's pointing out the craftsmanship. Now, if you are a veteran roadshow watcher, your ears are pricking up. Experts don't talk about the exquisite craftsmanship of plastic beads from a cracker. They just don't. He turns to the guest and gently corrects her assumption. You thought these were paste? Just costume pieces? Yes, she nods, completely unsuspecting. Mum always said they were fakes. Oh, Mum. The expert drops the first bombshell. These aren't glass. They aren't paste. They are diamonds. And not just any diamonds. We are talking high-clarity, beautifully cut stones set in platinum. The air shifts. The guest blinks. You can see the gears turning in her head. Wait, my dress-up toys were diamonds? The valuation that broke the composure. Then comes the moment we wait for. The valuation. The expert builds it up. He talks about the desirability of the pieces. He talks about how Art Deco is soaring in the market. And then he drops the number. He doesn't say £50. He doesn't say £100. He values the fake brooches in the thousands. Depending on which specific clip of this genre you're recalling, these fake collections often hit the £10,000 to £15,000 mark. The scrunched face heard round the world. This is it, the moment that went viral. Usually guests do one of two things. They do the polite British nod. Oh, that's lovely, thank you. They cry. This guest, she malfunctioned in the most adorable way possible. Her face scrunched up. It wasn't a smile, and it wasn't a frown. It was a full-face contortion of skepticism and shock. Her nose crinkled, her eyes squinted shut, and her mouth twisted to the side. It was a face that said, "Get out of here. You are winding me up." It was the face of someone who realizes they likely let their toddlers run around the house wearing the equivalent of a new car on their sweaters. It was the face of someone realizing her mother had been walking around with a fortune pinned to her lapel while claiming it was just a bit of tat. The audience laughed, the expert beamed, and the guest just stayed there, face scrunched, shaking her head as if trying to physically shake the numbers into making sense. Why we love this reaction. Why does this specific reaction hit us so hard in the feels? 1. It's authentic. In a world of curated Instagram feeds and scripted reality TV, Antiques Roadshow delivers raw, unfiltered human emotion. You cannot fake that face scrunch. That is the physiological response to your brain short-circuiting. 2. the secret treasure fantasy. It validates the dream we all have. We all want to believe that the ugly painting in the garage or the heavy box of junked jewelry inherited from grandma is secretly a jackpot. When we see it happen to someone as normal and nice as this guest, it gives us hope. Maybe, just maybe, I should check that old jewelry box again. 3. The connection to mom. Beyond the money, there is something incredibly sweet about the backstory. Her mother likely bought these because she loved them, not because she cared about the value. Or maybe she knew and kept it a secret. Either way, the valuation changes the memory of the object. It transforms from mom's old fake stuff to mom's hidden treasure. It's a legacy revealed in real time. The aftermath, to sell or not to sell. The inevitable question always follows: what are you going to do with them? With a valuation that high, the temptation to sell is massive. That's a new kitchen. That's a holiday. That's a chunk of a mortgage. But often when guests find out their fake items are real, they become even more attached to them. Suddenly, wearing the brooch isn't just about remembering mom. It's about wearing a piece of history. Although, let's be honest, she's probably going to insure them now before she wears them to the grocery store. The takeaway. So what have we learned from the lady of the scrunched face? Never assume. Just because something looks flashy, or just because a family member told you it was cheap, doesn't mean it is. The older generation was often modest, or sometimes they simply didn't know what they had. And secondly, if you ever make it onto Antiques Roadshow, practice your poker face in the mirror, or don't. Because honestly, the scrunched up face of pure shock is the kind of TV gold we live for. Now, if you'll excuse me, I have a box of my grandmother's old buttons to sort through. You never know, right? What's your best treasure in the attic story? Would you have sold the brooches or kept them? Let us know in the comments.